Morning, folks. It's Wednesday, hump day. Taylor Bond Street. This one here is the rose scented one. You can kind of tell there how much is in there. Starts out with about just over 5 ounces. Screw top plastic container if you're unfamiliar with Tobbs. Taylor Bond Street. This one here came with a inner lid, if you will. And yes, it might be kind of hard to tell. That is a little pink in there. Nice, soft, excuse me, really easy to scoop out, put in a bowl. I've got it right here. And the brush I plan on using this morning is, this is the Shaven Sailor. This handles a 3D printed handle with synthetic knot. This is a bright white knot. Probably not everybody's favorite synthetic knot, but for me, it seems to do the job for me. Let me go ahead and get started. Typically, I've already got this whipped up. This morning, I thought maybe I'd talk a little bit while I was working with whipping up the lather here. This is the bowl I'm using this morning. It's just a smooth bottom bowl to a degree. There, some of that design right there actually is you can feel the design. It's raised, if you will, but kind of see what's going on in there. But it has been quite an easy, it's been very busy the past few days, and I knew that it was going to be like this, not only work-wise, but just stuff going on in the family. You know, this is going on, that's going on. You know, when you get down to the end of a school year, one's graduating from high school, all the events, everything that's going on, it's been pretty busy trying to stay on top of all the goings on, if you will. But made it through 2 days in the office this past week, or this week. So it's going pretty smooth. I mean, considering everything going on, so much going on, there's a whole lot that could go wrong. It's going pretty smooth. Just really busy. Taylor Bond Street Rose. It's I don't know how else. It's a soft scent, as probably one would expect. It is a very pleasant scent. I don't think the scent is overwhelming. It is definitely present. Some folks might consider the scent light. So if you're kind of wondering, like I did, the very first, matter of fact, the very first rose scent that I bought was from Yulay, and hopefully her store will open up here pretty soon. I did go ahead and put a link down below for it. Petals de Rose. This one here is the Aftershave. I also got the matching soap. Now her soap, which is very soft, is a bit stronger if you're looking for a rose scent that's a bit stronger than this one here that I've got. But this one here, it's an aftershave. You do have to shake this one up, and comes in a plastic container for those that it matters. But anyway, I thought the two would pair up pretty nice. But this, yes, I would. Considering I know how Yulay, how strong it is, it's a bit stronger. But if you're looking for something a little bit more on the lighter side, this one here is probably the one you want to go with. It is shaving cream. It is relatively easy to whip up. I take my time when I whip up my lathers. I don't get in too big of a hurry. Even though some will whip up quicker than others, that for me, that doesn't, how you say, matter one way or the other. It is how it whips up, and this is whipping up pretty nice. It is definitely, I got it fairly well hydrated. You can kind of see it's starting to move a little bit. It's not quite drippy, but it's pretty close. Going from a citrus to a rose scent, a floral scent, if you will. To me, I think it's pretty nice. I didn't think I'd like rose. And when I got this one here, I decided that, you know, this was a scent for me. Blade of the choice today is Lord Cool. This one here is a Teflon coated blade. I've got a link down below to some of this stuff. if you want to check it out. This one here I got linked through the way of Amazon. You can pick up 100 pack for $7.99. So if you wanted to buy a 100 pack, for me, these blades work out for me. They're pretty nice. I enjoy them. Got it in a Fatip. Now this one here is the slanted one, but it does have a safety bar. Of course, there is the open comb slant. And oh, this is what the handle looks like. You can see it's different than, I guess you might say, your typical Fatip. Fatip, fat tip, whatever you have, you like to pronounce it. This handle is hollow through and through. For some, that might make a difference. As it goes for overhang, it's just a tiny bit on the overhang. For some, for that, if it matters. For me, yeah, it doesn't matter one way or the other. As it goes for the, I'm going to throw this out there real quick. Humphreys Witch Hazel. This one here is going to be the rose scented one. Trying to keep along with the theme when I can. It's not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wet the face and get busy with it here. I've already put a hot towel to the face this morning. Weather-wise, it has been quite interesting around here. Most of the weather, by the time it got here day before yesterday, you probably noticed in Kansas there's a tornado up there around Andover that was pretty active and destroyed some property, but we didn't have anything here around Tulsa, the Broken Arrow area, but we had a little bit of the winds, you know, tree limbs down, some power outages, stuff like that. But outside of that, nothing too terribly dramatic, even though sometimes I do wonder about folks. Anyway, I won't get into that part because somebody was out on the river and had to be rescued. Anyway, not a place I would have chose to be. Anyway, maybe they just weren't up on the weather. But we're expecting a lot more rain today. Flash flood watches out already. And I know the ground is fairly well soaked around here. You can kind of see pre-shaved cube, Phoenix Artisan accoutrement, ice cube at that, a little bit of menthol. The menthol, it's there. I don't find it overwhelming, but it does have a nice cooling effect. It is trying to get warmer. I think later in the week it's supposed to get up around 80. If you like floral scents and you're not looking for one that's super strong, this one here might be right up your alley. You can kind of see, like I say, it whips up pretty easy. Really nice looking lather with no more effort than I put into it. You can make it big and fluffy if you want to. This is just the lather I prefer to have. It works for me. You should do things that work for you too. Your shave, you do it your way. What works best for you. Now, as it goes for aggressiveness of this particular razor, the blade feel is there. It is present. I have shaved with this one before. In other words, it's not my first time go with it. I do find that it's efficient. How can you say? Typical Fatip. That's how I view it. I don't find any of their razors over aggressively. You know, it just might depend on what you're used to. But for those that are not too crazy about a lot of blade feel, this might be pushing it for some folks. Some might find that the slant with the safety bar versus the open comb might be, in other words, open comb might be a little bit more aggressive, maybe. It works well for me. It is one of those groups of razors that sometimes you can find them on sale as low as 20 bucks. Otherwise, anywhere around, right around 30, maybe 35. It just depends on where you're looking. They're not too terribly expensive. I've got some of the older ones. I think they've improved a little bit on their manufacturing process where, as goes for blade alignment. For this one here, like I say, I typically load blades in a 3-piece razor a particular way. So for me, it's not quite an issue. I don't really notice it quite as much maybe as some other folks might. But this one here, I haven't had any issues with blade alignment, like maybe with some of the older razors. As it goes for quality control and how it looks, I should have had it handy. I have the older Fatip. On the older one, there's machining marks on the ends of the base plate and on the cap, and you can see bits and pieces here and there. In other words, where some room for improvement, if you will. In other words, the post coming, you could see it through the top of the cap. Like I say, the older ones, there was room for improvement. These have improved, in my opinion, if you're familiar with all that. And for me, none of that really affected the shave. Still enjoy shaving with them. For me, I find them to the point where you have to pay just a little bit of attention to angle, pressure. But outside of that, once you get used to them, shave with them for a while, won't take no time at all. Whip out a shave that would be vent free. No nicks, cuts, weepers, or anything quite like that. I don't find this razor aggressive. Maybe medium, in my opinion. You just feel the blade. I don't feel like it's aggressive. At least not to me. Depends on what you're used to, right? This shaving cream is really nice. Taylor Bond Street, if you haven't tried any, if you're, I guess you might say, in the market for something closer to a cologne type scent or something along those lines, Eaton College would be one on Jermyn Street would be another. Those two are, in my opinion, really, I got both of them. In other words, they're really nice scented shaving creams. If floral's not your thing, straight up rose, which makes it nice for me. For my nose, it's not sophisticated. You can't tell, I don't know if the mic is picking that up. My daughter is awake this morning and she's having a good time. I can feel the blade across on against the grain. It's more pronounced on against the grain than it is and more than what it is on the other two passes. A bit more noticeable. You can kind of tell, and at least in my opinion, the number of times I am able to go across a particular spot on my face and I don't feel like I'm overdoing it, I think speaks to where it's at in the way of feeling aggressive or medium or mild. It's not mild. I don't feel like it's mild, but I would say it's at least on medium on the aggressiveness. I know for some folks that are familiar with the tip, you it depends on what the person's used to and what you read in the way of review, and some may consider it a bit aggressive. I don't feel that way. It hits in a medium spot. There are some aggressive razors out there and it does not fit in that category, in my opinion. But for you, it could be different. Nice, smooth, comfortable shave this morning. Taylor Bond Street, this is, it's kind of like, in my opinion, Parasso. It deserves a spot. At least in my den, it does. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements alum block. I've already taken the rubber band off. It was getting kind of close, starting to feel like it was going to get in the way, so decided to go ahead and take it off. Now hopefully I won't drop it. Got just a little bit of stinging back over here. On the neck area, it's not uncommon to end up with some, but even over here, where I was, guess you might say, going over the same spot over and over, I don't have any stinging right there. I have a lot of fun with aggressive razors, or razors that some folks feel is aggressive. Humphreys Rose scented, and it does smell like a rose. It's just, for my wife, it was not strong enough. It was too light. I think she was expecting or hoping for something closer to an aftershave type strength. So she gave it back to me. But this right here, I understand there's, I guess you might, I don't know if you call it a love-hate, but some people just don't like the idea of their aftershave doing this. This one here is a witch hazel scented aftershave, so you will have to shake it up every time you get ready to use it. It is in a plastic container as opposed to glass, but depending on how you are, you might appreciate the plastic, because at least it's not going to break if you drop it on a hard floor like especially what I got here. And her, when hopefully Monica is open here pretty soon, her aftershaves are along the lines of usually hanging right around the $15 mark. In other words, they're not too terribly expensive. They've been there for quite a while. Now, when she opens up, is her price is going to change? It'd be hard to say. But to me, her prices have been pretty reasonable for a good long moment. And being a witch hazel based, it might suit some folks' needs more so than an alcohol based one. But I do not find her scents, how can you say, their scent strength is, yeah, the rose is already very noticeable. I don't find her scents to be, for the most part, light, unless that's the way they're intended for them to be. I had a fantastic shave this morning. I got links down below if you want to check that stuff out. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.